all because
Yeah.
Facebook and Instagram is
We're it, you guys.
We're it.
We're
Well-
hoping you come on over to LinkedIn and you tune in, and now you're super fans and going to follow us and watch every show.
So this is Nicole with HotMod
Yeah.
Influencer Agency,
And this is Grant with Spark Sites.
and we are
HotSpark.
HotSpark, and we're back with an awesome show today. We've got Alexa Russo. Why do we have Alexa today?
Because she's the head of events and
There it
entertainment
is.
at Camp Margaritaville in Auburndale.
Yeah.
She's a partner of Visit Central Florida. She hosts a lot of influencer partnerships, and she's a dear friend, and she's also a content creator, which is awesome. She can speak to both worlds.
Yep.
I'm happy to talk to her about both of those things.
And we
So,
were just able to attend an event that she put on. It was the
RV Creator Yet conference.
Yeah.
It brings in content creators, brings in all kinds of creators, honestly, but it does have a niche of the digital nomads, the people living in their campers and creating content, and it's a whole movement. So
And it was my first time attending. This is your second or third time being there.
Yes.
Something to that effect. Corey Meyer says, killing it. and Corey is a phenomenal partner. Check out SAM, SAAM.com.us.
Yeah.
We'll get a new domain,
Yeah,
Corey.
yeah.
No worries. But let's bring up Alexa and learn a bit about being a creator at the juncture of events and entertainment and content creation. Boom.
yeah. Hey,
Hi.
Alexa.
How's it going?
It's good. It's great over here at Camp Margaritaville.
So that's where you're dialing in from?
I am, yes.
Okay. And so again, this is Corey with Sam. It's actually the Haven Go product. Hint, hint. Watch for that in the near future. So let's actually dive into being a content creator. So let's start there, if you will.
Yeah, Alexa, you have a very unique position because you're in charge of so much at Camp Margaritaville, Auburndale. And as an RV resort with this whole up and coming industry of content creators that are in the RV industry, you're I don't know how much you're talking to them now. I'm sure you're part of the process, but you've been really at the forefront of working with RV influencers over the past few years. When did you guys open? It started as Cabana Club, but when did you guys open Camp Margaritaville?
Yeah, so we started as Cabana Club in February of 2021, so just over 3 years ago, and we were Cabana Club for about 11 months before we rebranded and became under the Camp Margaritaville name. So that has been just over 2 years ago.
What prompted that shift? Just the brand recognition?
Yes, there's a funny story about it, and I'll tell it quickly. But so I'm actually, my family is the one who built the RV resort. I don't know if you know that, Grant, but so my uncle, who is our managing partner, was actually touring the president of development for a future project, not for this one, but it was the week before we were opening. And he stops him in the middle of the tour and was like, "Randy, stop putting up the signs." And my uncle Randy was very literal and was like, "What are you talking about? We're opening next week. We can't put up signs." He's like, "You've already built Margaritaville," essentially. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, that kind of sparked the conversations, and it was
Okay.
a natural partnership with them. And so
So the look and feel and the architecture, the design,
everything was as it is today. The main thing was changing over the signs, and
you
of
just had to
course
do the licensing at that
the
point.
license and the brand. So yeah,
Gotcha.
it was a fun journey for sure.
Gotcha. And were you doing your own content at that time?
Yes, I was.
Okay, so were you doing this live? What is your handle live with?
I just changed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Live fully Alexa.
Live full.
This kind of goes to what Jen Bethune says, right? Were you kind of tuning
I was
in?
just Alexa Russo one.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, for a long
Yeah.
time. And Jen
So-
at the RV Creator Yet conference is kind of you kind of have to ebb and flow.
Yep.
And I really loved seeing this shift because you've been on a journey of building this home, and now you're furnishing it. And so this is the funnest part, right? We all watch HGTV to tune in and see how it's decorated. So
Yeah,
I love that
for
you're
sure.
taking this as an did you kind of, what made you decide to switch your handle?
I mean, I've wanted to for a little while. I was just trying to figure out what I wanted it to be and kind of finding my lane, essentially.
Yeah.
And so,
Oh, now we're in my domain. Because what I've loved, and you might have seen some of the past shows or in some of our conversation at Camp Margaritaville, I love having been brought and welcomed into influencer world by Nicole in the last 6 months because I love the self-discovery that is happening. So speak to that, you said something along the lines, paraphrasing, you came into your own, came into your voice, found your message. What can you articulate that or unpack that just a peck more? Like, what is that?
Oh gosh. Well,
No easy
as
questions here.
just a human, a mom, like, I feel like
I'm
there's
just a
so
human mom.
as like, there's just so many things, right? Like, it's being a
Mhm.
mom, it's building the house and now decorating the house, as Nicole said, it's running a business, it's doing all of these things, and so I felt like I was kind of all over the place, right? And my content was kind of all over the place too. And
Mm,
so I felt like I needed just to kind of have a more focused approach to it.
okay,
So that's really what sparked the kind of rebrand, if you will, with the name
gotcha.
change and a little bit of a shift in the content. And so, yeah,
So
just
being so being at the
trying to
juncture as
solidify that.
oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Being at the juncture of your personal content and Camp Margaritaville content,
Mhm.
because as the director of events and entertainment, you're basically marketing full time for them.
Mhm.
How do you keep organized your mind when you're like, I've got great
Tell us
content.
all the tricks.
I've
Yeah.
got great
I know.
content. You're like, oh crap, which brand? I don't know. Like,
Right, right,
does that
yes.
ever happen?
All the time, yes.
Okay.
And fun fact, and Nicole, I know you were in this, but I also am the head of communications for the junior league, and I help do social for a few other
That will burn
companies.
you
So yeah,
out quick, I have to
there's
say.
a
That's
lot.
why
So
I
yeah,
switched to
I
funding this year. I'm like, I'm not gonna do
yes,
communications again.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so I have a million to-do lists and checklists, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know the answer. I don't keep it
Well,
straight.
and most people treat content like an inspiration, like, I'm just not
Mhm.
feeling like it today. And so they
Right.
let content go, but we know consistency is key. So
Yes.
you have the ability, this is a question. Do you have the ability to look at a checklist and go, nope, this is the job, and let me put out a piece of content that feels inspired to the public, but may or may not to me? That's irrelevant. Like, are you pro from that regard where you can just put out content and it'd be good?
I think more for the businesses and but personal, I feel like it needs to be a little bit more inspired and but yeah,
Agreed.
I can turn it on for the actual like from Camp Margaritaville. I mean, there's something to talk about, and that's a little bit easier in my
Yeah.
brain to just be able to whip something out.
I agree.
Yeah.
Business social media management is so much easier from that regard. Like once you have a plan and
Yeah.
like pillars of content, it's
Mhm.
like you just stick to the plan,
Mhm.
find photography. It's just easier to work out in your head. Then it gets personal, and
Mm,
you're like,
Right.
what am I really trying to say? It's like a daily
mm.
struggle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
man. So talk to me real quick about RV Creating Yet conference. This is my
Mhm.
first year.
Uh-huh.
What's the yet?
Are we
So
rebranding
it's
it?
a
Is that?
spin on Are We Creating Yet? Right? Like
Oh, oh, are we creating yet?
I thought
Okay.
it was like a play on Are We There Yet?
kind of,
Oh,
yeah. So similar, but
Okay.
yes.
okay.
That
Gotcha.
was the initial when we first started brainstorming, we were coming up with a name and I don't know, but that was kind of it did probably, Nicole, you're right. Are we there yet? Which is for RVers specifically, but then we changed that to Are we creating yet? Are
Yeah.
we creating yet? It just
Gotcha. And what has been the biggest, like putting on an event like this? The attendees were this year. I don't know about previous years, but this year it was kind of a manageable size, one would say.
Mhm.
But there's still hidden challenges. What were some of the challenges of even getting a manageable group
Mhm.
together on a property you control? Like, there's still hidden challenges. What were some of those dynamics like?
Oh yeah, there's always going to be challenges, but I mean, the main thing is just coordinating all of the details, making
Mhm.
sure, everyone as far as the speakers are good and are ready to go, and then of course, the pressure that I put on myself of like these people are investing their time and their money to be here, and
Mhm.
so I really want them to take tangible things and go be able to implement them. So I feel like that's to me the biggest stress of it all. It's our third year, so I've kind of got a lot of the logistical pieces to it down. But
Mhm.
stay tuned because there are bigger and better things coming for
Yeah, well,
for
we
Okay.
the
saw that
future.
announcement and we were both like, "Why?
What?
What? We need to know. We need to know
I
what's
know,
going
right?
on. We want to know how to support it and be a part of it
Yes,
because we're
yes.
just down the street." I'm like, we can make this thing huge.
Yeah.
And we can help support you make this thing huge. So
That is
yeah.
the plan.
Yeah.
So is it too soon to say anything here?
I mean, we don't really have
Okay.
anything like solid, but
Okay.
yeah, we're hoping to be obviously a much bigger group.
Mhm.
We want to, instead of the room that we were in this last year,
Mhm.
which was cozy and it fit
Yeah.
the group, but we want to be in
Right.
the big space.
Yeah.
We also want to expand, so it's all content creators, not just RV specific. So lots of
Interesting.
things in the works.
Okay, so
Well,
RV creating it's definitely gonna have to get
yeah, I
rebranded.
love that. I want more.
Yeah.
We're always
RV creating yet may no longer be what it's
yeah. Because you want all
Stay
creators
tuned.
to come, like from Orlando, from Tampa, to get some education and community, and like that's what we're working on with the influencer networking event. But it's like evolving constantly, and like
Yes.
every single time we do it, we're just doing it in hyper speed because we're doing one like every quarter, where you guys are doing it every year. So you kind of
Right.
get feedback and then you kind of pivot and go. But like,
Yeah.
I think there's a huge need for coming together, just creators coming together. RV creators can learn from regular creators and vice versa, whatever a regular creator is. But
Yeah.
Well, the
like
truth
different
is nothing that was said at the conference, and that's what Jimmy and Sandy, and we plus three, Jaren and Molly, we were talking after, and we were like, there's really nothing that was like specific to RVers, right? They just all happen to live in their RVs. But at the end of the day, it's still just content creation. And so that's really what sparked the thought to potentially expand it a little bit.
Simple logo change. It's in the South, so you just go, "Are y'all creating yet?" And you just change the logo. No, let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Okay, so as a creator yourself, like, what's been some of the bigger challenges that you've had
Mhm.
in just
Yeah.
creating your own channel?
I mean, I just think sometimes you overanalyze everything, right? Like I always laugh. The one time that so far that I've like gone viral was a video that was like a lip sync that took me 5 seconds to do, like, and it
Yeah.
went to 700,000 people or something. And then you can spend hours creating what you feel like is like your best video or best reel or whatever, and then it's like 2,000 or whatever it is. And so
Yeah.
just not to overanalyze it and to not get caught up in how many views or how much, and just kind of keep going no matter what. So I feel like that's been one of the harder things because I am a perfectionist and I always want it to hit. And sometimes you can't control that, right? So
Yeah. What is your goal as a creator?
Yeah, are
Oh,
you looking to do brand deals? Because like Haverty's reposted your
I
content.
know, right? That was
So
exciting.
it was.
Yeah, and I have done a few smaller things. So yes, that is a goal for sure.
You just want to have more to do.
Right.
I just want more
I
responsibilities if
want
you
to
don't
know.
mind.
Yeah. This is
I know.
add this
I'm
extra
crazy.
thing. But I think you're great for that. I honestly always felt like the way you curate your grid, and I always looked at your account as inspiring and aspiring. Like if I'm gonna have it, like you spend extra time on the aesthetic and the message, and so I'm glad that you're making this leap to be more intentional about it because like
Yeah.
as you can see, like the brands are going to take notice when you have quality content. So that kind of leads me to, you work with you're a partner with Visit Central Florida. As an influencer agency, I know we're always partnering with you to send influencers to Visit Central Florida. To Camp Margaritaville. But, influencers reach out to you guys all the time. Do you have any kind of system that you refer to when you're looking to partner, or what did you start with, and like what I know because they started reaching out to you right away, which you mentioned, but like has that process evolved for you guys?
Yeah, for sure. So going back whenever we were just opening, we were Cabana Club, we were small. They didn't even plan to have a full-time marketing. Like I just kind of was doing it, and then it ended up being this much bigger job than what we thought going into it. And so there was zero thought or anything regarding influencer marketing at all in the beginning. And of course, that was 2021, so it was not new, but it was kind of newer for companies to consider paying influencers versus paying magazines and newspapers and radio and all of the traditional. So anyway, long story short, I pretty much had to just kind of figure it out and come up with our plan of action. And so the good thing is with the resort here, it is something where people want to come and they get a vacation and they get to experience it. So we've been able to do a lot of more like trades, hosted stays, things like that. And that doesn't necessarily cost us a lot to do. So of course our owners were all about it. Now
Yeah.
we've tweaked some things about it, but yeah, we typically love when they actually already connect with us. I know I talked about this at the RV creating yet, but if someone reaches out and they've never followed us or engaged with us at all, and it's just like super cold message, normally they don't get much of a response.
Yeah.
To be honest. So word of advice, reach out or like engage, comment,
Engage.
reply to stories before you go to send that initial reach out. I think that's the biggest thing, because as managing our social media for Camp Margaritaville for the last 3 years and building it to what it is today, there's a lot of people who will just send cold messages, but the ones who actually engage with me, like I feel like I'm their friend already, and I'm excited when I hear from them or if I reach out to them. So that's one of my biggest things. Like, to even open the door, you need to somewhat have communicated with us. Because even though we don't have like a crazy following, but we still do notice who engages and who comments and who replies and things like that. So that's my number one thing. And then once they do, of course, we look at their account, we look at their engagement, we kind of see if their vibe fits our vibe, because not everybody's does. And so it's just to see if it's a fit. And there's not been too many that we turn away at the end of the day. Like, we love working with creators. We know it's a hard thing to do and it's a job. And so people who are intentional with it, we try to do our best to work with them. And so we're just trying to kind of solidify that. We haven't really put out a whole lot of expectations as far as like, we need you to do the like deliverables, I guess, because we want it to feel natural and organic, and we want them to really share their full experience. And so I think that's something that we've looked at, but we haven't really solidified, just because it does change for everybody.
Yeah.
So
Roughly how many emails do you get a week or whatever, give or take?
DMs and emails.
DMs.
yeah, well, gosh, it depends. So like right now, every RVer is in Florida. So right now we get a lot. I would say sometimes it's 10 plus a week. Like it's a lot right now leading into winter. Now we go into summer, it's quiet.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it just kind of depends on the time of year.
Now, this might be a detailed question, and feel free to be like, I'm not really going to share that. You don't even have to share real numbers, but as a percentage, roughly what cash payouts are allocated percentage-wise of your marketing budget as a whole? Could you like even guesstimate that?
I don't think they do.
Not many.
Yeah.
Okay.
We do
No, that's good
mostly
to know.
it's hosted. We have done, but it's minimal.
Well, even as a business, so then as a trade deal, even as a business, that's still considered a line item. So
Yeah.
even as a percentage of marketing budget at large, even the trade value, roughly as a percentage, what does that make up of a marketing budget for Margaritaville?
I had a guess.
Yeah, guess.
It would probably be 5 to 10%.
That's good to know.
That's a rough guess.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because in the past we haven't necessarily really tracked. We are now, so it will have a more firm number for 2024. But
Because couldn't that be considered part of your like a write-off?
Yeah.
Right? It's
Well,
part
it's
of
an
your
expense.
Yeah, it's an expense. It's a marketing budget. You're giving them it's like $180 a night or more, right, for that spot. So a lot of times these partnerships are like worth $1,000.
Right, right. And we do try to, when we are talking and negotiating, we do break it down like this is the value of the stay compared to the value of the content that we're getting or whatever. So we've had a few, didn't do them, but we've had a couple who are like, yeah, we want $20,000 for a post. And we're like, sorry, that's not in the budget.
Oh my.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
any amount of value. Like you could move into this RV spot for the next 6 months and maybe, yeah, no, we're
I'm
not
like,
doing
I
that.
appreciate like that maybe you're getting that from other places. I
Yeah.
don't know. But yeah, that's definitely not in the
Well,
budget,
and this is what I love
unfortunately.
about your role. Like, I mean, you've seen some of these shows. You heard a lot of the people talk about paid
Mhm.
collabs when we
Yeah,
were at the event, and it's the push and pull between creators and brands. And
right.
you sit at the juncture of being both.
Yeah.
And we had this with Allison Fox as well at Camping World. She also is a creator with Pine Forest Adventures.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think oftentimes there needs to be empathy on both sides
For sure.
because, a lot of creators are getting this message that we also push for paid brand deals.
Right.
But
Yeah.
Allison Fox was quick to say, yes, but don't be so high and mighty that you don't take trade deals,
Mhm.
unless it's just way outside of your business plan right now.
Yeah.
We talked to someone today, it's not in their business plan right now, and they're kind about it. They're empathetic about it. That's just not their business plan.
Yeah.
Right.
But they
Right.
often feel like gatekeepers, if you will. People writing checks are just being cold and trying to like squeeze everything out. I was like, no, like it's not in the budget, bro.
Yeah.
To pay this to you.
Right. Right.
So
Exactly.
that's very interesting.
Yeah.
God,
And
wow.
it is definitely something that I, personally have pushed a little bit more. And again, I think it's different here just because it is such an experience. It's not a product. Like I could
Right.
see, like I've turned down products that are, you know,
Do you get the
$20
Amazon
products. Like it's not worth my
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
But so it is definitely different. But I agree with you. There is definitely a way to go about it so you don't tarnish the relationship because you never
Mhm.
know in the future um, when they do have a budget or you're wanting to go come here, or whatever it is, you don't want to burn the bridge. So I
Yeah,
definitely think
because a trade deal might be like if a trade deal doesn't work for my business plan now, but
Mhm,
let's say RV creating yet evolves next year and someone wants to be a part of that, then
mhm.
they might be, okay, well, I'll do a trade deal now. It's like, yeah, but you were kind of a jerk.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah.
we're going to do that now.
Yeah.
And they just want to stay for free at that point, which could be a win
Mhm.
still. But I hear you. You were going to ask about
Yeah.
an Amazon thing?
No, I when you said that about the product, you get a lot of those Amazon pitches, like from
Mhm.
companies, from like Venturesome Couple was saying
Mhm.
today, like a bunch of China companies that are pushing product or wanting to send you a free scooter or wanting to do this, and sometimes it just doesn't align with your brand
Yeah.
because it is cheap or junky, and in those cases, most of the time they're not paid; they just want you to push the product. So, but
Mhm.
it's different. It's completely different than this transaction of you guys hosting them. This is a sought out location in Florida. They're
Mhm.
coming here and so you're actually saving them thousands of dollars. But I would say over the last couple years, Alexa, the industry has evolved. And so it's a lot more acceptable to say, we would really love just like a dedicated reel. Although most creators, I think, with you guys, probably do that anyway. Like
Mhm.
they're over delivering, or they're just having a great time.
Right.
So they post a bunch of stuff, so you might not have to push it too much. But I do think the conversations become more normal, and that
Mhm.
they're accepting that there's going to be some requirements, right, or
Yeah.
some kind of like certain kind of deliverables, so that they can they can provide some ROI for you guys.
Mm.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, we haven't wanted to like limit because like you just said, they because they are having a great time and they love their
Yeah.
site or they love their cabin, they're just sharing. And so we don't want to say, oh, we need you to only share 5 stories
That's
or
true. It
whatever.
might be
We
more
don't
of
want
limitations, like, oh, I
Yeah.
only have to do one reel, but they could
Right.
do. I feel like, and I don't know if it was just because we started following everybody from the RV creator yet, but I feel like there was a huge reach with the creators this year as far as
Yeah.
posting. Like UGC with Ashley was on TikTok and she was posting about the bald eagles, and it was like I'm feeling like I'm seeing way more content that I did the last couple of years, and
Mhm.
you just never know if the algorithm's just like
Mhm.
feeding you more stuff. But did you sense that at all? That there was like a bigger content push with the creators that were there this year?
Yeah, I did. And that honestly, when we initially came up with it, that was as far as like the Margaritaville side of it was, hey, let's bring in a bunch of people. We're going to naturally get a bunch of great content
Mhm.
as well as pouring into up and coming creators. And so it was kind of one of the draws to doing this whole thing. But yes, I definitely feel like this year, and the content's been really good.
It has been really
been
good.
It's
really
been
good.
it's
Yeah.
been really good, and the
Yeah.
creators
Yeah.
seem to be learning quickly. Like, when we were
Yeah.
together, there was several very fresh couples who had
Right.
been on the road,
New. Yeah.
Brand new.
brand new, and their content caught up very quick. We had the fortune to speak with In the Adventure,
Mhm.
Shannon and Steve, I believe.
Yeah.
And they were just so sweet to talk to. And we watched their content, and they have some pretty cute shticks. And now
Yeah.
Steve's doing stuff with his beard. And I mean, they're very new to the
They're
road.
taking the advice from the more seasoned creators, and you see them implement it right
Very
away.
quickly.
And I'm like, go you! And it's just like exciting and inspiring to be a part of it.
The same with Normal No More.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They have great fun, a good fun eye. She has a fun eye, and
Yeah.
they're still relatively new to the content game. And
Mhm.
so I think it's just a testament that when you put good people in a room, even if it's a smaller group, magic comes out of it and it's creative. So let's go back to you as a creator. Like, what inspires you? Because a lot of it's pretty inspired stuff. Like, what inspires you for your own content
Oh
creation?
gosh. I all of the things. I don't know. I mean, I feel like I've always been in someone that people like ask me different things like, where should I do this or what should I? So I feel like it's always just been natural for me to share the places that I like, the products I like, the people. That was kind of what I said before on kind of like my bio was sharing the people, places, and products that I love. And it was just natural for me to share those things. If I like it, I know other people would like it. And so that's really kind of what I want to do. It's not
Mhm.
just to sell, but to just
Sure.
show like these things really are working for me and I'm sure they can
Mhm.
impact other people. And so that's really the inspiration, I guess, behind it
Mhm.
in all different aspects of life.
Is it
So
is it a creative outlet as well?
it
Because
is. It
okay,
is. Absolutely.
yeah, I'm like with an aesthetic eye like you have. That means you have like that creative bug in you, and this is one of those things that like come naturally. Part of it comes naturally, like the eye of it, like you were
Yeah, and
saying.
I've always, I mean, my whole life I love taking pictures. I love now, more video, but it's just something that I've always loved to do. And so to be able to capture that and then to share it, I don't know, it's just something that, yeah, I've always, as a kid, I was always the one with the camera. Like
Mm-hmm.
in college, I literally carried my digital camera out to like the bars and would be
Oh,
the
I'd love to see
friend
those
that would
pictures.
always, oh, I've got
I bet.
albums, like tons of albums on Facebook. They're hidden via a lot of
Yes, I
reasons,
did that too. I'm like, nobody needs to see all
yeah, but like
the
I was always the friend that would like document
yeah.
the occasion, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And so anyway, that's just me. I guess that's just me.
Yeah.
Can you identify any major changes or shifts in the creator world, whether in any domain? Like, what are some of the trends that you're really noticing
Oh
this
man.
year?
I mean, obviously video. I feel like
Oh,
that's so important. Like still I love stills. I love photographs, but I feel like in today's digital world you need
Mhm.
video. And I feel like a lot of it is the short videos.
Mhm.
Um, I try, with trending sounds and things like that. I try not to do ones that are like super already popular, but that's something I've been looking at lately is like if they're trending, they've got a little arrow, but they have less than 10,000 videos or more
mm,
around 5,000 is kind of what I've been trying to do lately.
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know. I feel like it's always just like trial and error. But I do feel like that is working right now.
Yeah. When influencers pitch you, are you noticing a trend with what they're sending to pitch these days? Has that
Hmm.
changed at all? Do you get a lot of media kits still or
Mm,
No,
small
not really.
stories?
Not in the first. Not in the first.
Yeah.
interesting.
Normally they'll message us on social media. So on
Yeah.
Instagram is our primary one that they're reaching out on. And it's more just a casual, like who they are and who's the best person to talk to.
Mhm.
And I always like even though typically now it's going to be more Abby, but even if I was the one talking to them, I would always try to get it off Instagram and into emails just
No,
because I feel like
yeah.
Yeah.
that's more professional. So even if it was me, Alexa, answering them, I'd be like, oh, contact our director of marketing, Alexa.
Yeah.
This is her email. Just because I felt like that was just better. And then from there, they would send a more they do send a more official, if you will, reach out with potentially a media kit or some stats or some past work that they've done.
Mm.
But yeah, typically the first one is very casual and it's just a quick message.
Mm.
Yeah. I always try to tell people, don't forget about the DMs. I mean, I know that they think they have to find the marketing person, but a lot of times the social media team can direct them to the
Absolutely.
right
And it'll
person.
potentially save you some time and effort,
Definitely.
Yeah.
especially smaller brands. Now, if the brand has 1 million followers,
Mm-hmm.
they're probably getting 1 million messages, and so
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
might be when you want to actually go find. But
Yeah.
if a brand is still relatively 50,000 and less, I would say they're very active on checking their
Yeah.
messages.
Oh,
In
yeah.
my
So,
experience.
Alexa bought the toolkit.
She did!
So, is that mean that you're
Yes!
pitching brands? Have you?
Yeah, I
you
haven't.
Oh,
I've obviously looked at all. I have not really had the time to implement it yet, but
Yeah.
it's awesome. I'm excited to have it and start using it.
We'd love your feedback, so let's be sure to hop on a call and make sure
Okay.
it's usable, deployable, relevant.
No, it
We
was
definitely want.
Are you
yeah.
going to
So
shop at
far,
Lazy Boy
everything.
at all?
You
Or
what?
are you shopping at different places for your furniture, like besides Haverty's?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm wondering maybe Lazy Boy would be a good partner to for your new house. Okay, my wheels are turning, but
Wheels
yeah,
are turning.
we do need to get on a call so we can walk you through that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I'm
last
excited
question.
to have
No, go ahead.
actual simplified, proven tools that to put into place.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So last question before we let you go. We're at the hour, or we're at the half hour here. What's the most surprising aspect that keeps coming back to you, that keeps making you surprised or full of gratitude or full of awe about this creator influencer world that you just didn't expect when you started out a few years ago?
Yeah. I mean, I think the best part about it is just that literally anybody can do it. Like you don't have to have a ton of I mean, look at everyone. Everyone comes from different backgrounds, different skills that they've learned, but I don't know. I just feel like it's an even playing field. Like, yes, you have to learn the skills for
Mm.
this specifically, but to me, I feel like it's just really cool that you can see. Like, I would somehow popped up this grandpa who's 90 years old, who's like super viral on everything,
What?
literally. And I'm like, at 90 years old,
Yeah.
he's killing it, working
He's
with
killing
brands
it.
and like making funny content. And who would have thought, right? Like,
Right.
Yeah.
so
One of
I
my
don't know. I
favorites
just
is
love
Granny
that.
Guns. Look
I'm
up
trying to
Granny Guns.
convince my mom. She's a traveler, and she like in her notes has like 1 million restaurants and things to do
Oh,
for
wow.
like every city that you can imagine.
Yeah.
I'm like, Mom, we can turn this into like people want to know. People ask her every time they're traveling, like, where should I go? What should I do? I'm like, she's like, I'm too old for that. Like,
You're
you're
like,
not.
no. Let me show you.
Yeah, man. Let
Yeah.
me
So
show you, man.
it's just cool that really that's a wide open for anyone who wants to be a part of it.
That's so true.
Well,
Yeah.
we did a lunch and learn last week, and we had a guest, Ashley, who spoke up at the end, and he said, I'm listening to you guys, and what I'm hearing is that we're all creators.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, Ashley, that is exactly what we're saying.
Yeah.
And I mean, he simplified the whole
Yeah,
thing.
but you can see the light bulb go off like, I think what you're saying is that we're all influencers and we're like, yes, in our own little domains, in our own worlds, we
Yeah.
are. And they're
Yeah.
just different types of it. Because there's,
Mhm.
even though this guy's 90, I'm going to watch it because it's funny.
Yeah.
And that's universal, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Man.
Yes,
Yeah, man.
absolutely. And there's just so many things to talk. Like it's not like every creator is doing the exact same thing. So if you're passionate about anything, like you can talk about it and you can.
Do
You can
something
talk about it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, where can people find you?
all right. So they can find obviously Camp Margaritaville at Camp
Yep.
Margaritaville Auburndale
Mhm.
on all the platforms. And then personally, I am Live Fully Alexa. So
Live
that's
full.
on
I'm glad you did that, because in the back of my mind, your handle, and this is not the case, people watching. In the back of my mind, it was Live with Alexa, and I was like live, and I was like, wait, that doesn't make any sense, but it's Live Fully
Alexa. Yeah.
Alexa.
Live
Okay.
fully
Yeah.
Alexa. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, we'll put that in the show notes. Thank you
Yes.
so much for being
Of
on.
course.
Thank you
Thanks
for
for
everything you
having me.
did with
Yeah.
RV Creating. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Stick around.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Boom. So what did you learn? Did you learn anything new? You already knew her. You already knew all this stuff.
I do, but we know each other. We're in the same circles, and we've had these different events.
Mm-hmm.
But getting to know her more on the show, which is why I love doing this show in the first place. But it's great. I love to kind of hear the backstory of like what's happening with Camp Margaritaville, how that influencer program is evolving, and I hope that was helpful to creators or business owners watching. Like you may not have it all figured out when you first start to want to work with influencers, but by going through the practice of hiring and working with them, you'll learn and you can create your own program and make it part of your marketing system.
Yeah. And I think my takeaway, and this landed home for me because I heard it with Allison Fox, but I heard it again here, and that is nearly every, what we might call gatekeeper or person writing checks to influencers, nearly every single one of them is also a creator. And that means there's human connections on the other side, which means do not treat them like big, like, whether it's Camping World, a Fortune 1000 company or whatever, or whether it's Camp Margaritaville, Auburndale, which is still a big deal, but they're not like that big, but they're still big. They all have different size budgets. They all have different requirements. They all answer to different people. So be kind. Have some empathy and make sure that you're negotiating a win-win because you never know all the other stuff that's going on. You never know if there's events later on in the year. Or maybe there's a one-off partnership with just them and their personal content where you do a collab. This is what I'm learning about social media and influencer work is these are literally, it's emulating more and more real life. It didn't for a long time. It was very fake. But like it more and more I'm realizing long-term viability as an influencer, you got to treat it like anything else. It's
what I heard?
What?
Flirting with the brand.
Flirting with the brand.
She's like Alexa wanted to see that you were, that you were commenting and interacting with the channel and that you had some kind of vested interest in it besides just like a cold reach out, which we say all the time, I don't want to see a templated email that shows you haven't done any work on your end to understand who you're pitching. And so relationship building always comes back to that and flirting with the brand or business or destination. So
it's good. Yeah. Well, thanks for stopping by. This has been the HotSpark Show. Check us next week where I believe we have a wildlife with Dory, who's super fun. Please check out Live Fully Alexa. Check out her handle there. And Camp Margaritaville, Auburndale. We've had many trips there, many events there, and we're looking forward to many more.
Yeah,
check us next Tuesday. We're now on Tuesdays at noon, or just check our website, The HotSpark Show. Thanks so much, everyone, and have a fantastic day.